Welcome to Beerstories from Beerstory Brewhouse. I've brewed up a very crisp, flavorful, classic German Pilsner, and in this video I'll show you how I made my recipe. So what I wanted to do with this beer was to brew just a very classic, crisp, dry, flavorful, thirst-quenching classic lager, German lager. But I wanted to do the easy way. Some say that lagers are the hardest beer to brew, but I don't think it's true. It's just the easiest beer to mess up if you don't do it right. The recipe is actually not the most important. The most important is how you treat your yeast. So fermentation, temperature control, and pitching enough yeast, that's just the main factor when brewing these beers. Because you can taste everything that goes wrong in here. So if you don't make any mistakes, then the beer will shine. So that's the most important thing. Yeah, but basically it's a pretty simple beer. It's 5.5% ABV, so it's a bit stronger than a normal German Pilsner, and the reason I did that was just to bring in a little bit more flavor, and I really think I succeeded in doing that. But original gravity was 1050, final gravity 10008, so 1008. So it's a pretty dry beer, but that's also why it's so easy to drink and, well, yeah, just quenches your thirst right away. And it's not bitter, it's very balanced, but you still, yeah, you can keep drinking this beer all day. You won't get tired of the flavors. I want it to be very light. It's only 7 EBC. So you can see it's a really golden beer, beautiful beer. And for that I used Heidelberg Pilsner malt, because that is the brightest malt you can get. So IBU is actually 33, so it sounds bitter, but if you look at the bitterness to gravity unit here, it's right in the middle. And that's what I would call balanced. So it's not sweet, it's not bitter, it's just easy to drink. This recipe is for 25 liters, boil time 60 minutes. So everything here is pretty standard. 25 liters is about, what's that, 6.5 gallons, I think. So the fermentables, 86% Heidelberg Pilsner malt, just about 10% Carapils, just about 2% melanoidin, and 2% wheat. I use wheat to give it a bit of foam, bit of head retention. Also, melanoidins will also do that a bit. Carapils is actually often said to give it a bit of head retention. It doesn't. It gives it a little bit more body, but it's not foam positive. The Heidelberg is actually pretty good at creating foam itself. So yeah, that's also why, well, I poured this beer like 10 minutes ago and it still has foam on it. And if I pour just a little bit more, you'll see the foam rising. Just, yeah. So in any way possible, I just think this is, for me anyway, it's a perfect Pilsner. It's bright, it's clear, it's crisp, it's fresh, it's easy to drink, it's flavorful, it's beautiful. So, and that's also why I call this Legend Lager, because just to pay tribute to the German tradition and everything. That was the fermentables. Hops, I put in some mash hops just to just whatever I had some Magnum lying around. Whenever I have something laying around, I use it as mash hops, because it will actually prevent it. The mash hop will make a complex reaction with some of the manganese, copper, iron from the malts, and those metals actually react as a catalyst down the line for oxidation. So if you add in just a little mash hops, you will prolong your shelf life for your beer. 60 minutes, 23 IBUs of Hallertau Magnum, 15 minutes left of the boil, 50 grams of Hallertau Middle Brew, or 7.5 IBUs, 50 grams. I'll write up here somewhere what that is in ounces. And again, a flame out, the same, 50 grams of Hallertau Middle Brew. So it's a pretty hoppy lager, if you want to say so, but it's really not. It's just full of flavor. For the water treatment, as you can see here, I used a little ascorbic acid in the mash as well, and that's also for some of the radicals from the mash will actually react with the ascorbic acid and again prevent it from oxidating down the line. And then I treated my water. It's just a pretty standard dry Pilsner, double up on sulfate compared to chloride, but all the numbers should be low, and the calcium should be just around 50, just to have enough calcium for the yeast as a nutrition. Also, it actually makes a clearer beer in the end. So that's kind of the water profile. I added 3 packages of Novolager. Novolager is a fantastic yeast, I think. It doesn't make really any sulfury components. It creates very little diacetyl and it cleans up so well afterwards. And it's just so clear. The yeast profile is the most clear I've ever tasted. I always used 3470 before, and I haven't for a while. I'm actually having a beer right now, fermenting with 3470. And you can smell the sulfur in there. You can smell the kind of the rotten eggs. And I just forgot how that was, because this doesn't at all. I just think it's an amazing yeast. And if you haven't tried it, try it out. You could also use any other lager yeast that you prefer. If you want some sulfur compounds in there, maybe a little diacetyl, then use a different yeast. Because diacetyl is actually allowed in these kind of beer in a very tiny amount, but I can taste it right away and I don't like it. So this yeast is my go-to lager yeast. I use a step mash, protein rest, just 5 minutes. Actually, I mashed in and just stirred around, and then I started to raise the temperature up to 63 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes, and then 67 degrees for an alpha rest at 40 minutes, and then I mash out 10 minutes. And that was it. Then I fermented it, not cold, but at 7 degrees Celsius for about 6 days. And then I raised the temperature for diacetyl rest again for 20 days. And for 20 degrees Celsius for 7 days. And then I just conditioned it for like 5 days, I think. But I cheated and added gelatin. And I think a Pilsner should be this clear. So I would add gelatin any day of the week. But if you don't want to add gelatin, just condition it some longer. If this were a true lager, you should condition it for 90 days, but throw in some gelatin. And I think with the Novolager, it's great right out of the fermenter. Really, it's really that good, that yeast. So that was it For the fermentables, Hellertown Mittelfru, I use quite a lot of it, and it has a little bit of citrus, it has a little bit of spice, it has a little bit of herbal, a little grassy, a little floral. It's a hop that is everything but fruity and tropical. And you get the floral and you get the citrus in here. Maybe a little bit of spice, a little bit of grass. But even though it's well hopped, it's not that pungent. It's just refreshing, I would call it. Yeah. There's some sweet malty honey notes in there as well. And that's it. The flavor of this beer is just spot on. You get the bitterness here in the back end. Den tager vi det igen. You get the bitterness at the end. It's kind of drying out your mouth a little bit. And that just makes your saliva run. So you just want some more. The first thing I get is the hops. It's kind of that citrusy floral note with some sweet honey afterwards. And and that fresh barley field. When I drink a crisp malty lager like this, I always get memories of playing around in barley fields as a kid, or playing around in the barn where the barley is actually stacked. Yeah, I just love it. It's such a simple, such a naked beer, but it has to be one of the best beers I've ever brewed. It's just a perfect lager. It has a good mouthfeel. It's carbonated well, but it doesn't make you full. It doesn't make you full of flavor. It doesn't make you full in your stomach. Your palate isn't getting tired. So you can just keep drinking this all day. And that's really what I want out of a lager. Something that tastes great. Something that's easy to drink, fresh, crisp, and something that I don't get tired of after one beer. So, and this is everything, I need in a lager. I wouldn't change anything to the recipe, but that's up to you, I guess. But it's great as is. But if you want to use different lager or different lager yeast, you can. You can even use Lutra Kveik, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I can taste the difference. I actually tasted the difference. I was at a competition with other homebrewers a week ago, and I brought a Czech dark lager, and he brought a Czech dark lager, and he actually used Kveik Lutra and fermented it at 20 degrees Celsius. And I used Nova Lager and fermented it a little bit colder, and there was a world of difference. His beer tasted like a brown ale, kind of, or an alt beer. I could taste all the fruit esters from the yeast, even though Lutra is said to be very clear. I don't think it is. And the Nova Lager was just so clear that in my dark Czech lager, you could taste all the notes from all the different malts. And that's just when the yeast is out of the picture, all you get is malts. It's just, I think it's a great experience. So try and use the Nova Lager. That's what I'm wanting to say about that. If you have any questions, write to me. Other than that, just have brewing out there.